It's trade deadline day across the National Football League, and we will be live coming up later on this afternoon right here on Seahawks Today. If the Seahawks make a move, you will find out about it in real time, live right here on the channel. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Subscribe now and join us here for trade deadline coverage on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us here on this morning edition of Seahawks Today. The Seattle Seahawks already made a big move yesterday, adding Leonard Williams from the New York Football Giants, but could they still do some shopping with that trade deadline approaching of 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time later on this afternoon? What we are hearing going into this morning in regards to the Seahawks, they are in a position where they are open to still making even more moves. It's not just the move that we saw for Leonard Williams yesterday. Remember, they brought in Frank Clark as well last week, and this team could make another move still before that deadline approaches. And you may be wondering, why all these moves here? Why would they, after what they just did, still be looking for more options? And it comes down to this. The big picture for the Seahawks is that they are looking at this as a position of strength. They don't have to make a trade, but if they can find an area to add some depth and make this roster even just a little bit better, then they're open to the possibility. Don't have to make a move, but they're open to it, potentially speaking, going into this trade deadline here this afternoon. So with that in mind, let's look at the updated trade targets for Seattle. Jaylon Johnson. News broke this morning that the Chicago Bears star corner has requested a trade out of that organization, that he would like to go somewhere else. And Jaylon Johnson, who has been a name that has really circulated over the last week or so among potential trade targets for a number of teams across the National Football League, you may look at, like we talked about the position and strength thing, why would Seattle look at Jaylon Johnson when you already have Devin Witherspoon and Rick Woolen and all that? Well, this move would allow some flexibility potentially for Devin Witherspoon. Where we've seen him play at his best this year has been when you put him at the nickel spot. And so with that in mind, you could put Witherspoon at nickel. You could have Reek on one side, Jaylon Johnson on another, and you're without a doubt at that point have the best secondary in the National Football League, no question. Jaylon Johnson already off to a good start to 2023 with 2 interceptions, 18 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 4 pass breakups. And, I would say he's off to the best start of his career so far to this point. So a very good player, could be a difference maker potentially for Seattle. What do you think about Jaylon Johnson? It would not be cheap to bring him in, but should the Seahawks consider it? Y for yes, N for no, or pin comment today. Chime in, let us know what you think. Let's stay in the secondary now, and we turn our attention to Jabrill Peppers of the New England Patriots. And kind of same ordeal, similar to Jaylon Johnson, where the Seahawks have some good options in that safety room with Quandre Diggs, Jamal Adams, Julian Love. But since the injury to Kobe Bryant, now you've had to kind of shift things around a little bit. The thing that I like about Jabrill Peppers, though, is he's a plug-and-play type guy. You can put him at free safety. You can put him at strong safety. You can put him in the slot, whatever you're feeling. Jabrill Peppers finds ways to play well at a high level no matter where he is on the football field. The one thing about him, though, he's not going to chase after the quarterback. Leave that to Jamal Adams to do. Put Jabrill Peppers in coverage. So far this year, Jabrill Peppers looks pretty solid. He's almost matched his tackle total from a season ago with 51 so far already. 4 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and an interception for that New England Patriots team. Watch out for Jabrill Peppers as a potential trade option for Seattle. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, and I got to tell you, I love playing Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You pick 2 or more players, and the associated number with them, you have the choice either more or less. Pretty simple, right? And if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, you will get a $100 deposit match. Pretty cool, right? prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS for that deposit match. Here's what we're playing with this week. Tua with more than 286.5 passing yards against Kansas City. We're going to stay in London for Patrick Mahomes as well, going up against Miami, to have more than 295.5 passing yards as well. Play along with Prize Picks. If these two hits, I put $20 down. I'm walking away with $60. You can win with Prize Picks as well. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. A player we talked about yesterday, Caroll Lawson, and there were reports over the weekend that the Seahawks had already shown interest in Caroll Lawson from the New York Jets. Now, let me reiterate. The Leonard Williams trade does not necessarily change the potential interest in Caroll Lawson. You can have a defensive scheme where both players are on the field here. It's no secret that Lawson wants out of New York either. So that means that his trade value goes down considerably, where he's not going to cost you a ton. We talked about it yesterday. I think we projected around a sixth-round pick is all it would take to get Caroll Lawson. And this is somebody that's been a sneaky good player for a while. He's been kind of phased out of the Jets' defense, and that's been a thing for Robert Saleh for whatever reason, to kind of phase some guys out that he doesn't get along with for whatever that may be. But you can't deny the guy was fantastic last year. 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 9 tackles for loss, 33 tackles. I'd be willing to give him another shot to see what else he's got left, and potentially if he could get back on track of sorts with the Seahawks team without having to give up a ton. Who's a player the Seahawks should trade for? We've already gone through several names. I got one more name to get to here in just a second. But what say you? Get in that comment section and let me know a player you would like to see with this Seahawks team. Last on the list of updated trade targets for your Seattle Seahawks, Jonathon Cooper. Man, it has been so funny to see the Seahawks just raid the Denver Broncos over the last couple of years, ever since the Russell Wilson trade, right? It's been an ongoing theme, a gag joke of some sorts, and it could happen again if they want to bring in Jonathon Cooper. Bottom line, I've said this a lot the last week or so. I'll continue to reiterate again and again and again. You can never have too many pass rushers. Just when you think you have enough, you don't have enough when it comes to pass rushers. The Seahawks have had 25 sacks in the last 4 games. Pass rush has been really good, one of the best pass rushes in football. But we've seen what happened at the beginning of the year when it was not good. Jonathon Cooper is a playmaker, and right now he's off to the best start of his career with what we've seen so far in 2023. 4.5 sacks in 8 games played, 3 tackles for loss, got a forced fumble, 39 tackles total. Jonathon Cooper is a terrific player, and he's very young, only in the 3rd season of his career, really just getting things started. Jonathon Cooper, I think, would be a difference maker for the Seahawks team. Be very interested to see if Seattle makes a move for a player like that. So, will the Seahawks make another move or not? T for trade, P for pass. What do you guys think? Will we see one more from the Seahawks before that deadline hits coming up later on today? Let us know what you think. Make sure and join us coming up in just a couple hours from right now. We will be live right here on Seahawks Today for coverage of the NFL trade deadline. We got a great cast of characters set to join us as trades happen from across the National Football League. We'll react to them in real time, and if the Seahawks make a move, we're going to be right over it here on Seahawks Today. We'll see you then.